Hi everyone, my name is Benoît Dacheville and I am Snowflake's co-founder and president of products. Snowflake was founded 9 years ago by Thierry Cruanes and myself. Before Snowflake, both Thierry and I were working at Oracle as architects in a core database group. At that time, we were witnessing the failure of both data warehousing and big data solutions, and we knew something completely different was needed. Our dream was to build a solution where you could store all your data, regardless of its volume or structure, and then run any number of workloads against that data with no complexity or concurrency limits. Our ambition was also to enable effortless consolidation of both data warehouse and big data workloads, while dramatically speeding up both workload types, even at petabyte scale. All of this with a significant reduction of cost and complexity using a pay-as-you-go model. We knew at that time that the cloud was the only place where such a revolutionary system could be built. Today, not only has the Snowflake Data Cloud delivered on our initial vision, but it goes far beyond it. It is now my honor to announce Snowflake's close partnership with SK and our imminent entry into the South Korean market. We are very excited about the potential of our partnership and cannot wait to see what customers can achieve with SK's digital platform in conjunction with Snowflake. To share more about Snowflake and our commitment to SK and the South Korean market, I would like to introduce John Robertson, President of Snowflake APJ. Thank you.
Thank you, Benoit. And hello, everybody. My name is John Robertson. I'm the president of Snowflake APJ. I'm here today to talk to you about our company, our vision, the data cloud, and our plans for Korea. Then following me, my colleague, Alan Eldridge, the VP of engineering for APJ, will talk about our vision of the data cloud, AI, and how we can help our customers in Korea going forward. So firstly, as Benoit mentioned, the company was created 9 years ago, and the idea of doing data warehousing in a more efficient way, leveraging the efficiencies of cloud. And we started off with what we thought was about a $14 billion market opportunity. But as we rolled out our platform to many customers around the world, our customers' needs started to evolve. And as a result, our own strategy started to evolve. Customers were looking for more workloads, structured and unstructured data. And we went from data warehousing as a service to the creation of data lakes in the cloud, data applications, data engineering, data science, data sharing, all on one platform, one copy of data with many different workloads, but keeping that unlimited performance and scale of the cloud. And what this means is it's led to an evolution of how we look at the market and what we're building together. Now, at one point, we believe there was an $81 billion market opportunity in the cloud data platform, but now what we're calling the data cloud is a much bigger opportunity for everybody together here today. And this is not just something that Snowflake believes in, but we have customers all over the world leveraging our platform and in production today. Currently, we have over 4,500 customers globally and over 400 in Asia Pacific, Japan. And this is all industries: media, finance, manufacturing, telcos, tech companies, ad tech and retail, airlines and logistics, etc. All industries are looking for better ways to analyze and monetize and share their data. And we've developed a unique multi-cloud platform to do this. But we can't do it alone. And we have an ever-expanding ecosystem of partners: Tech Alliance partners, SI partners, systems integration partners, application partners, and of course, powered by partners. And that brings us what we're here to talk about today, which is our new relationship with SK C&C. And I'm very excited, very happy to announce the new partnership with SK C&C. This is our first partnership in Korea. This is the way we're entering the Korean market. And the SK digital platform will be powered by Snowflake. So we look forward to working with SK C&C to support their customers and expand the Korean market. We're very excited about this. Just a little bit of a company update. This is results from our Q1 earnings call. Q2 results will be out next week, so please look forward to that. But I can give you some data from last quarter to give you a feeling for how the company is changing and evolving. First and foremost, our business is very healthy. We've more than doubled revenues in the first quarter. We have what's called a revenue retention rate, which is essentially when customers come back the second and third time to buy more Snowflake services, they tend to be buying more. And in fact, it's around 170% revenue retention over the last year or so. So that's a sign that customers are pretty happy and they're adding more workloads to the platform. As I mentioned earlier, we have over 4,500 customers in the world, and over 100 customers have made more than $1 million commitment to Snowflake. Of the Fortune 500, we currently have 187 customers, which is representing about 30% year-over-year growth. And a very exciting data point is our data marketplace now has over almost 500 listings. And this is where customers go to share their data, to sell their data, to monetize their data with other companies, customers, suppliers, consumers. And this is a very exciting thing. We'll be talking about this in a little bit more detail later. As I mentioned before, we have great customer satisfaction. And of course, this idea of the data cloud is something that's evolving into something that's extremely relevant for customers around the APJ region. Speaking of APJ and speaking of actually building out the instances around the world, what you're looking at here is the global Snowflake deployments. Now, we're a multi-cloud solution, so we're on AWS, Azure, and GCP, giving our customers choice of the platform they want to use. Currently in APJ, we have 6 deployments, including 1 in Japan, 1 in India, 2 in Singapore, and 2 in Australia. And the way you want to look at this is a global network, a unified system connecting components, customers, and data providers to each other around the world. My colleague Alan will be talking about this more in detail, but what you need to understand is this gives you access to a global network that you can leverage. And I'm very happy to say that very soon, in the near future, we'll be announcing our first deployment in Korea on AWS. So welcome to the global network, Korea. We're very excited to be entering your market and working with all our customers and partners there. That's it for me. I'm going to pass on to Alan Eldridge, our APJ SE leader, to discuss why do successful companies need the data cloud. I wanted to say thank you so much for your attention and interest in Snowflake, and I look forward to working with you and hopefully seeing you soon in Korea. Thanks very much. Alan, over to you.
Thank you, John, and welcome everybody. My name is Alan Eldridge, and I am the Vice President of Solution Engineering for Snowflake here in the APJ region. And I'd like to take us just a little bit deeper into the story around the Snowflake Data Cloud. When we talk about the data cloud and the problem we're fundamentally trying to solve, it's really about access to data. There is a set of Forrester research that indicates that 87% of organizations feel that they aren't doing the best job that they can possibly do in terms of accessing data. They want to access more data in their decision-making processes. The challenge that organizations face today is that the data is spread across multiple silos and multiple locations. And there's a bunch of reasons why these silos exist. Some of it is legacy as companies make that transition from an on-prem architecture into the cloud. Some of it is from multiple systems where we have some data being stored in our transactional systems, some data stored in our CRM, other in our ERP, other in our product-oriented systems. And so each of these has its own set of data. Asking questions across those data sets is very difficult. So this fundamental challenge of getting a universal view of data is problematic for organizations and also expensive and time consuming. How do I integrate this data in a way that provides me a meaningful view of my entire organization? It's a problem that a lot of organizations are struggling with today. The Snowflake Data Cloud is our solution to this problem. And really the idea of the data cloud is that it's a global unified system. John already talked about this idea of there being multiple regions of the Snowflake Data Cloud spanning the globe and spanning across multiple cloud platforms, whether it's AWS, Azure, or GCP. So we have data living all around the world across multiple clouds. But by bringing that information into the Snowflake Data Cloud, it gives us a framework for connecting users to that data. And it provides a way for organizations to seamlessly but securely interchange data with one another. When we drill into this and understand what comprises that Snowflake data cloud, there's really two pieces to this. The first is the Snowflake platform. And this is a unique architectural platform that allows users to bring data into the Snowflake environment of whatever format, whether it's structured, semi-structured, or unstructured, and be able to bring that data in at any scale you choose. We have customers who are storing data at a few gigabytes of data, and we have other customers who are storing multiple petabytes of data within the Snowflake architecture. So the ability to hold and process that data is one piece, and then in that processing, supporting multiple workloads. I've been with Snowflake for almost 4 years, and when I first started here, our focus was very much around the data warehousing workload. But being hosted in the cloud and being able to scale the data that we hold to the scales that I talked about before, being able to support the complexity of data that I mentioned, means that our users have started to carry other types of workloads on this common platform. So we're starting to see them bring data lake workloads into the Snowflake environment because it's a cost-effective platform for storing this data and processing it. Now that we have the lake and the warehouse, we need these data engineering workloads to pipeline the data between these and start to build out the derived schemas and insight platforms. From an insight perspective, being able to support data science, so our AI and ML workloads on that particular platform are increasingly important, and being able to embrace the way that data scientists are going to approach data, which is quite different to the way that perhaps a visual data analyst who's more comfortable working in SQL is going to do so. We have many customers building data-oriented applications. We very much see this as an emerging space. And of course, that data sharing across the rest of the cloud, whether you're participating as a consumer and bringing data from other third parties into your analysis, or in fact as a provider where you are sharing data perhaps with across your business, across your ecosystem with your partners and your customers, or even more broadly via the Snowflake data marketplace to potentially monetize that data as well. So the first part is the platform of the architecture. The second piece, and increasingly what we see as more important, is the content. And here what we're trying to do is if we can make that platform piece super simple, then it gives us more capability for our users to concentrate on the data. As I already mentioned, one of the key elements of the Snowflake data cloud is that it allows us to share data at scale in real time across organizations. And so now I can be consuming data from other organizations in my ecosystem, or maybe a third-party data provider that today I use, but I have a convoluted data pipeline to bring that information in. The Snowflake Data Cloud gives me a framework that simplifies that process, and I can work on that data as if it were just an extension of my locally stored and managed data. It's now all together and integrated on a common platform. I think it's also important to understand when we talk about content that we're not just talking about data, but increasingly our customers are starting to look at providing data services. So maybe I want to be able to exchange data with another organization in a controlled and governed way. And maybe I don't necessarily want them to see the granular data, but they can see derivatives of that data. Maybe we want to exchange it through a controlled interface, or maybe we even want to set up a more complex construct like a data clean room that allows us to share data across an organizational boundary while still preserving privacy and control over that data. So there are these two important pieces, the platform and the content. When we deploy this data cloud and we see our customers bringing themselves onto this platform, we're seeing them achieve three things. The first of these is around access. And so the access is really about visibility, discoverability, and sharing of the data, as I said, without having to physically move it. Being able to work with data that I own within my organization just as easily as I can with data that's being shared from other organizations. In order to make this happen in a realistic way, we need to have a governance framework. And so we need to be able to catalog and understand our data. We need to be able to protect our data. And then once we've got those two things under control, we can then start to unlock it and share it across and beyond our organization. And the final piece here is then around action. So this is where we want to be able to support all kinds of workloads and all kinds of interactions from all kinds of users and audiences, whether that is a visual analyst using a tool like Tableau or Power BI, all the way through to a more sophisticated user who is bringing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, these complex workloads into the system. And these two audiences are going to interact in different ways. But having all of our data integrated together in the cloud data platform really brings this value to us. And we see this integration with SK's digital platform really unlocking this capability here. Snowflake provides the storage, the governance, the control, and the sharing platform. And then the digital platform from SK really brings those additional capabilities around discoverability, control, governance, ontology, AI, ML, and so on. Customers who are embracing the Snowflake Data Cloud are really starting to see significant improvements to their organizations. And they're seeing that across these three key areas of cost, growth, and risk. We're seeing significant improvements in all of these areas, which we believe is critical to the improvement of businesses. In closing, what I'd like to do is to talk specifically about one particular customer. And in this case here, I'd like to talk about Emirates Airlines. So Emirates first started working with Snowflake by migrating their data lake to the cloud. They had an on-premises data lake. They moved that to the cloud. And what they found was in moving that to the cloud, they were seeing greater performance and greater flexibility with their data in the data lake than they were able to achieve within their data warehouse. They then chose to move that data warehouse function as well and bring both those functions together on the Snowflake Data Cloud. What they achieved out of doing that was a significant improvement in the way that they were able to manage their DevOps processes, but equally how they were also able to derive insights from that data. The two areas that they've specifically focused on initially are around customer experience, and you can see the quote here from Navneet Memon, being able to personalize, in-flight entertainment, being able to provide personalized solutions when booking and when managing my flight. Also, other areas of their business taking advantage of this data, so being able to improve their understanding of fuel efficiency across their network, for example. So they've seen significant improvements by unifying their data together on the Snowflake architecture. So thank you for your attention. I hope this has been useful. My colleague Louis Lee will be diving into more detail about the Snowflake data platform later on, but we look forward to our partnership with SK and really bringing the power of Snowflake to the Korea market. Thank you.